Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hip Horse. I'm Tommy D along with Johnny Lowe, and we got another race review to look at. And we're going to be going to the Bluegrass at Keeneland. Johnny, this is a mile and eighth. It's going to be on Saturday, July 11th. Your thoughts about this race? So you got Swiss Skydiver coming in to face the fellas. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, so the Bluegrass is obviously the big 3-year-old stakes race during the Keeneland meet. Usually they run it in the spring, and it's the last like big race to where you can get points to get into the Kentucky Derby. Obviously, this year things have changed; they didn't have a spring meet. Um, it's it's a really big deal this year since we have the filly, like you said, Swiss Skydiver, treading into a little bit deeper waters. I think that they made the right decision to go into this race instead of the race with the fillies earlier in the card. Um, the Haskell, the waters are a little bit deeper. You looks like you're gonna have Authentic in there, and maybe a Dr. Post, the horse that ran second in the Belmont. So this race is probably the easier of the two. Last year, Vekoma with his, everybody calls him the paddler. He just won the Big Met Mile race. He won this race. Here before that, it was Good Magic by Curlin. Just really good pedigree there. But before that, you had a Tisnow horse in IRAP, and a couple years in a row, there was Brody's Cause and Carpe Diem, who are the Stormcat line. So this race is kind of mixed it up. I don't expect anything less at a grade 2 level at a mile and an eighth. It's definitely wide open for the pedigrees at that point. One thing that definitely interests me in this race, when I go over the pedigrees, there's two horses that are the Mr. Prospect line that I kind of like to look at. And those two horses are going to be the number 8 Basin and the number 10 Rushy, both of them by Liam's Map. Liam's Map is inbred with the Mr. Prospect line on top with Unbridled Song, and on the bottom um, it's it's a Mr. Prospector line mare as well. So they kind of have it's a Trippy mare who's by N Sweep by 49er by Mr. Prospector, and so the thing about that is it's kind of like a Twirling Candy type, or unfortunately Arrogate passed away, but he's gonna have a crowd come out as well. The type of breeding I look at when I see those, I think more one-turn races. So for me, that's kind of a turn off for those two. So then I try to look a little deeper into the pedigrees. I just don't see a whole lot. The second choice I would say is probably going to be Art Collector, coming off this big 100 buyer and the optional 100,000 non-winners of 3. But he's by Bernardini, and I'm just not really a big Bernardini guy myself. Bernardini, I think of is more of a broodmare stallion. I know Imperative was probably the biggest name that Bernardini's thrown as far as the colts or horses or ridgelings or geldings go, and he didn't develop until a little bit later. So I'm going to say Art Collector probably doesn't have what it takes to win this race, and I'm gonna try to hedge my bets against it and hope that he takes a lot of action. I'm actually all about the filly in here, Swiss Skydiver by Daredevil, the More Than Ready line. She's out of Expo Gold, who's by Johannesburg. Johannesburg won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile against one of my favorite horses of all time, and Officer. Officer was never really went on to do anything crazy, but as a 2-year-old at Del Mar, he won 3 really big races, and I tried to make sure I was there for all of them. Swiss Skydiver, her last 3 races were graded stakes races. She's beat the likes of Venetian Harbor, Speech, Lake Avenue, Tunnelist Shape, pretty much every filly that you can think of that's in the mix for the Kentucky Oaks, minus Gamine. So I think in the 3 races that she's had, she's went to the front, and she's just pounded these fields. She's done it in such a good fashion. Mike Smith's flying out the rider. And I think as far as she's concerned, she's going to be the horse to beat. She might look like Winning Colors out there and just wire this field.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny, I like to hear that because, I agree. It's exciting to see, this 3-year-old filly take on the boys here. It's going to be a great race. And, we don't usually see like the class in this field, I think it is a little bit weaker, like you say, and I think there's a shot for Swiss Skydiver to take this on, and I'm with you. It's my top choice also. You got McPeak. You also have Mike Smith. Mike Smith has won this race 2 times. It's been a while. You have to go back to 1994 aboard Holy Bull. But he's done it twice, so we know Mike Smith is a big money Mike, and he's going to be ready to go aboard this filly. And when I also think of Mike Smith, I think of him aboard Zenyatta, another great filly.
Yeah, absolutely. Zenyatta wasn't shy. She went ahead and beat the boys in the Breeders' Cup, and she lost to a neck to Blame, unfortunately, the next year at, I believe it was Churchill Downs. Blame, trained by Albert Stahl. He got her that day, broke a lot of hearts, unfortunately.
Hey, but let's talk about the exacta here. We both like Swiss Skydiver, Johnny. Let's look at a couple horses we can maybe put underneath, because this exacta could, pay a little bit.
Yeah, so underneath, I think it's going to be a contested pace out there. I believe with a 13-horse field, and it's throwing a lot of speed in here. So I think that Swiss Skydiver can probably go out there and she can hold her own. She's a big filly. I think she's going to wear down some of these boys, and when they make the stretch drive for home, I think horses like Man in the Can, who's by Can the Man, who's by In the Mischief. If you trace that line, it goes back to the Stormcat line. He won his last 3 races in a row. He's 4 for 5. Dean Martini was the horse he beat last out, fairly easy. Dean Martini came back to win the Ohio Derby, I believe it was. So I think Man in the Can, especially having a win over the distance and a bullet work last time, he should be coming. Another horse that I kind of like a little bit is Rushy. Rushy's he's probably going to be second or third choice. He's coming out of a big race at Santa Anita, the Grade 1 Santa Anita Derby, where he ran third by 4 lengths, which he lost to Honor AP and Authentic. No shame there. And I think he just had a little bit too much to do. The pace was hot, and the closers, well, Honor AP the horse is a monster. He's got a big stride. He gobbles up ground. So I think Rushy's going to be one that can sit off the pace, and he's proven that he can make up a little ground. So I expect him to come running. And then for a long shot, I'm going to throw in Attachment Rate. Attachment Rate's by Hard Spun, the Northern Dancer line. His last race wasn't the best, but it was a 1-turn mile and a 16th at Churchill Downs. I think he wants 2 turns a little bit more than the 1 turn. And Luis Saez and Dale Romans are going to team up here. They're both 20%. Well, Romans 20% at the meet. He's got 1 win and 5 horses he sent out, and Luis Saez is 20% on the year. I think it's a good combination, and he should be probably mid-pack. Turn for home, he should have a jump on some of the real deep closers.
Yeah, no, I like some of those picks. So underneath in the exacta, a couple horses to look out for. You mentioned 10, Rushy here. As you said, finished third behind a tough bunch there last time out. Number 5, Can the Man, getting 8-1 or 6-1 there, morning line. Won 4 out of 5 career starts here. And Mr. Big News, one you didn't mention here at the 4-horse at 10-1. Maybe one other one I would maybe throw into the mix there underneath. And then Attachment Rate, the 9-horse, 20-1 price there. So definitely some options to put under Swiss Skydiver in that exacta in the Bluegrass, Johnny. Anything else you want to add to the mix here?
Yeah, that Mr. Big News, glad you mentioned it, at 10-1. I think he might even be an underlay. I think his odds might go up. And he ran a bang-up race last time. I know it was in a slop at Oaklawn, but if you look 2 back, broke his maiden around 2 turns at Fairgrounds. He ran in the Risen Star modernist division of the Risen Star, and he ran a respectable 5th out of 11 horses. I think he had a little bit of trouble in that race. So if he gets a little cleaner trip here, being by Giants Causeway out of a Galileo Mayer, I don't think he's going to have any trouble with a mile and an 8th. So hopefully he runs in for 3rd or 4th, and somebody can clean up on their exacta or trifecta or superfecta.
Yeah, no, I definitely see some options to make some money in this race, and hopefully this video helps you here. If it does, please hit that like and subscribe button. Anytime you hit that subscribe button, anytime we put out a video, it will pop up for you, so you won't miss any of our videos. So thanks for watching, everybody. We got a great Bluegrass to pay attention to this Saturday, July 11th, everybody. Thanks again for watching the Hip Horse. Johnny, always a pleasure. Thanks again, everybody. Have a good one.